Hey everybody, you got the Hobby Drifter here again. This is day whatever of quarantine here in Tokyo, Japan, and I am coming to you again with a drinking in Japan story. Since my last one seemed, I'll say popular, but people mentioned it. So, more drinking in Japan. So, a little bit of background. I started living in Japan in Kyushu in 2006, and I stayed there until 2010 when I moved to Hiroshima. It's a pretty simple move. My company called me into the office, said that they needed an experienced teacher to kind of head up their newly expanded into Hiroshima schools, and they didn't offer it to me so much as told me that I would be doing this. Asked him when do I have to leave, and they were said tomorrow. So I went home, threw all of my few meager possessions into a little box. Actually, it was four large mailing boxes, and moved to a Leo Palace, which is like a small apartment type thing that's pre-furnished with everything except for a bed in Hiroshima City, about 15 minutes away from the Peace Memorial Park. And I had spent most of my Kyushu years working very hard, and whenever I wasn't working very hard, drinking very hard. So, I mean, Kyushu is hundreds of miles away. Kita Kyushu is hundreds of miles away. Hundreds. It's 4 hours by bus from Hiroshima City. So, first thing I wanted to do when I got there was find where the drinking area was. I mean, I had such a good time with the drinking areas in Kitakyushu and in Kokura, in Kurosaki, Tenjin, Hakata, those types of places, that I just wanted to get back to that. Get into the bar scene. So my first day at work, I was talking to a new teacher who had been living in Hiroshima for a little while, and he's like, oh yeah, close to Peace Park, there's this little gaijin bar. It's like an Irish place. So he took me there. We had a few drinks. He went home, and I'm like, I'm gonna stick around for a while. I'm gonna check this place out. I'm there for maybe 5 minutes, drinking Guinness by myself, when in walks another foreign guy. To this day, I don't know what his job was. I don't think he was a teacher, but he was married to a Japanese lady. He had citizenship in several countries, Japan not being one of them. And he's just like, we did the typical foreigner, talk. Hey, where are you from? How long you been in Japan? Can you speak Japanese? Yada, yada, yada. And, we went through this. And he goes, hey, there's this other place nearby that's pretty cool. I'm going to go there now if you want to come check it out. Said, sure. Took me to a place called Mac Bar, which was a hole in the wall, but an extremely popular hole in the wall. I mean, this place was jam-packed. There was a dance floor, which is to say there was an open area where there were people dancing. The bar, cash bar, of course. The guy, Mac, God rest his soul, he passed away a few years ago. The place has since been torn down. It was supposed to be torn down before I went there. He just kind of resisted the order to have it torn down. That's the kind of place this was. So, there's a guy called Mac and his extensive record and CD collection. He must have had thousands of CDs and records that he would just play, which I don't really think you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed to have some kind of like license or something if you're going to play music, but the place was supposed to be torn down, so whatever, right? So anyway, he takes me to this place. We have a few drinks. I was talking, doing the I'm going to pretend I can speak Japanese thing and try to be cute, and it was fine. It was a good time. We were there for an hour or so, and he goes, "There's one other place. My friend owns this bar. Like you to come check it out." And he took me to a tiny, tiny little place. I think it had 8 seats in the entire place. I mean, it was literally closet sized. It was the size of a closet in a normal sized American house. And the bartender was like my favorite kind of gaijin. The been in Japan forever kind of gaijin who is, came over with like the bubble and just made it work. And I had a great time that night from what I remember of it. And yeah, that became like my new go-to spot. I met all of the well, not all of, but I'm plenty of the good foreigners. The foreigners who don't want to just go out and get crazy, but the ones who work hard and they want to have fun. Met a bunch of really cool guys there. I say guys, I want to say it was almost all men. Not a whole lot of ladies at. Mac Bar had them for dancing, but at this bar is mostly guys, especially the foreign guys. Usually older, married. So it's kind of like the senpai kohai thing. And so I've been going to this place for. I was only in Hiroshima for 18 months, so it must have been only a few months. And it's one Friday, and I'm in there. I'm in the tiny little 8-seat bar drinking, and out of nowhere, the owner goes, "Hey, didn't I hear you say once that you wanted to own your own bar?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's my dream, to have a little bar and restaurant here somewhere in Japan." He goes, "Well, have you ever been a bartender before? Have you ever worked in a bar?" I was like, "Well, no, but I've worked in restaurants. I've managed restaurants. It's probably the same thing, right?" And he's like, "No, man. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm starting to take yoga for my back, and there's this yoga class I want to check out, but it's every Friday night. So what I just come right out and ask you, do you want to run my bar on Friday nights for the foreseeable future until I'm not going to pay you, but you'd be in charge, and free drinks, whatever you want to do. Don't go crazy or anything, but within reason, just it's pretty easy. You know how to make drinks, you know how to pour drinks, you do it." I'm like, "Yeah, no, that sounds great. I would love to do that." And so I became the Friday night bartender at this little hole in the wall place in Hiroshima City, and I got to meet all types of fun, cool people. I set up a Facebook page for it, to get more people in there at a time before a lot of these businesses were doing social media. And that led to the night where one day this guy comes in and I'm like, "Oh, hey, what can I get you?" And like, "You pour me a beer." Sure. I'm like, "You look really familiar. Have I seen you somewhere?" And it turned out it was Benicio del Toro. He had someone, with him had seen the Facebook page, and he was in Hiroshima, so he decided to pop in. Well, that was fun. Random thing. But I mean, I had a great time working at this place Friday nights. I at the time I wasn't doing a whole lot of drinking at the start of it. I was trying to cut back. That didn't last super long. But I was doing theme nights. Like I would come in dressed like a host one day, and then like a Yankee the next week. Cosplay nights. Owner was totally fine with it. He's like, "Hey, cool, whatever you want to do. It's fine. Have fun. Figure your stuff out." Then one night I was there, and it was slow. I mean, this place was pretty slow to begin with. I mean, you'd get a couple of customers during the day or at night, whatever. But I mean, it wasn't really banging. If you brought in, $100 or $200 in a Friday night, you were like, "Oh yeah, all right, good deal." Made rent for the month. Rent was not expensive in this area at the time. So anyway, one night I'm in there and there's no one coming in. It's dead. There's nothing. And all right, cool. Close up. Went to one of the more partyish bars. I was there drinking with some other foreign people and a few Japanese guys until about 3:00 in the morning, which was the time that this place closed. And we're all feeling it. We're having a good night. So 3:00. We're like, "Oh, I guess we gotta go home, man. It's too bad. We want to drink more." And a light bulb went on over my head, and I was like, "Wait a minute! I have a bar pulled out the key and like, yeah, Kevin's got a bar. I was like, yeah, let's go drink at the bar. And I guess we had a good time. I don't know. I remember very little from from that night beyond, I got a bar, yay. So I unlocked the place and, whatever, woke up in my own bed with a voice message from myself to myself saying, you locked up, don't worry about it, you dumbass. Because that's what I used to do. I would go out and I would drink myself completely into a coma and then wake up the next morning and be like, oh crap, did I turn off the heat? Did I lock the place? But what the hell? And then I had to drag my hungover ass back out to the bar, 40 minutes each way, whatever, to check to make sure that I turned off the heat and I locked the place. And by the way, yes, I always turned off the heat and locked the place. It was never a thing. I'm responsible blackout drunk, apparently. So, anyway, voice message from myself, hey, dumbass, you're locked up, you're fine. Then gets to around 5, 6, 7 o'clock, I don't know, that evening, and the owner calls me. He's like, hey, did you sell like $1,000 worth of booze last night? And I'm like, I don't think so. Why? And he's like, because there's like $1,000 in the till, and I'm like, out of booze. I'm like, do the numbers add up on that? And he's like, yeah, no, that's about right. Good job. Like, oh, all right. Well, I'm happy to be of service. Because I was afraid. I was like, oh crap. I mean, if he's out of booze, did I like rip him off or anything? No, I mean, just that's how much booze he had at the. It's like $1,000, and I sold it all this night. So I was there for another month or two until I got my company got some more jobs back in Kyushu, and I was I was dating a nice lady at the time. We had planned to get married. So, and we did, by the way. That's not like a sad story. No, I mean, I'd proposed a while ago and wanted to move back there because she didn't want to go to Hiroshima. So, the point of the story was I was a bartender for a while in Hiroshima. Had a wonderful time. Got to experience, bartender, drink mixing, hard drinking life in what had to be like the safest possible way to do that. I mean, there weren't really any violent incidents around Hiroshima or pretty much anywhere in Japan, especially at the time. And yeah, so I finished there, and I was like, oh, hey, thanks for the opportunity to figure out that this kind of bar doesn't really seem like the kind of thing I want to do for a living, but I'm glad to have had the opportunity to try it. Still want to open a restaurant one of these days, bar and grill type thing. But that was my time in Hiroshima as your friendly neighborhood gaijin bartender. If you want to take a look at what I'm drinking this evening, it is a Suntory, the premium malts, which is brewed in Tokyo. And I've got my 100 days to go to the Tokyo Olympics glass, which sadly is not going to be the case. It's been postponed to hopefully next year. Fun story about this glass. It's a Coca-Cola glass, and it was a freebie. You bought 4 bottles of Coke, and you got this nice little glass with it. And inside the glass was a little note saying that we printed up these glasses back before the health crisis. And, obviously there's not really 100 days to go, but enjoy the glass anyway. And I will. I'm going to enjoy the glass with this can of the premium malts from Suntory. For relaxing times, make it Suntory times. And for a relaxing time in Hiroshima, check out the bars next to the Peace Memorial Park. There's plenty to choose from. There's any kind of thing you want to do. Great atmosphere, great people, great service, of course. Food's wonderful, drinks are wonderful. Very reasonably priced. And that's going to be all for me. I have been the Hobby Drifter. Thank you very much for spending some time with me, and happy hobbying.